Welcome to the Trail Running Briefing, the podcast for trail runners who want to understand their training and run better. Each week, one clear idea to help you train smarter, stay durable, and perform when it matters. Episode 24. The low point is not the end. How to survive the dark miles. Every ultra runner knows this moment. You are several hours into the race. The legs are heavy. The stomach is not perfect. The climb looks endless. You start thinking, why am I doing this? I'm not strong enough today. Maybe this is the beginning of the end. But here is the truth. In an ultra, a low point is not a failure. It's part of the race. The myth is that strong runners do not have dark moments. They do. The difference is that experienced runners do not panic when the low point arrives. They expect it. They manage it. And very often they come back. The core idea of this episode is simple. Don't make big decisions from a low point. When you are exhausted, underfueled, hot, cold, nauseous, sleep deprived, or emotionally flat, your brain becomes very dramatic. Everything feels permanent. A bad 20 minutes feels like a bad race. A bad climb feels like proof that you are not ready. A stomach issue feels like the end. But in ultras, feelings change. Energy comes and goes. Mood comes and goes. Motivation comes and goes. Even the pain can shift from one place to another. That is why the most important skill is not to feel amazing all day. That almost never happens. The skill is to stay functional when you feel bad. A useful way to think about low points is this. A low point is information, not a verdict. It's your body and brain telling you that something needs attention. Maybe you need calories. Maybe you need sodium. Maybe you need to slow down for 10 minutes. Maybe you are too hot and need to cool yourself. Maybe you need to put a jacket on. Maybe you have been climbing too hard. Maybe you are mentally overwhelmed and need to stop thinking about the finish line. The mistake many runners make is trying to solve an emotional problem with an emotional decision. I feel terrible, so I should quit. But the better response is practical. What is the most likely cause and what is the next useful action? That is the key. Not motivation, not heroics, not pretending everything is fine. Just the next useful action. When a low point arrives, I like the simple 3-step process. Check, fix, wait. First, check. Ask yourself a few basic questions. Have I eaten enough in the last hour? Have I been drinking according to my plan? Am I too hot? Am I too cold? Have I pushed the climbs too hard? Is this normal discomfort? Or is this a real safety issue? That last question matters. If you have confusion, chest pain, severe dizziness, signs of heat illness, hypothermia, or an injury that changes your mechanics badly, that's different. You need help. Managing low points doesn't mean ignoring danger. But most of low points are not emergencies. They are solvable problems. Second, fix. Do not try to fix everything at once. Pick one or two simple actions. Eat something easy. Take small sips. Add electrolytes if that is part of your strategy. Slow the pace. Walk with purpose. Cool your head and neck. Put gloves on. Change socks. If your feet are getting destroyed, use poles. Reset your breathing. Break the race into the next climb, the next checkpoint, or even the next 5 minutes. The goal is not to suddenly feel amazing. The goal is to stop the downward spiral. Third, wait. This is the part runners forget. You take some fuel, but you expect to feel better in 2 minutes. You slow down, but you expect the legs to come back immediately. You cool yourself, but you expect instant relief. In an ultra, fixes need time. So make a rule before the race. When you hit a low point, you don't judge the race for the next 15 to 20 minutes. You apply the fix. Keep moving and give the body time to respond. This is why training matters, not just physically, but mentally. In long runs, practice eating when you don't feel like eating. Practice hiking strongly when running feels pointless. Practice changing layers quickly. Practice positive but realistic self-talk. No fake nonsense like I feel amazing when you clearly do not. Use something believable. This is a low point. I will pass. Eat, drink, cool down, keep moving. I don't need to solve the whole race. I only need to solve the next 20 minutes. That type of self-talk works because it gives your brain a job. It reduces panic. It brings you back from the drama of the whole race to the reality of the next action. Another very useful tool is if-then planning. Before the race, write down your low point plan. If I feel empty, then I will take carbohydrates and walk for 10 minutes. If I feel too hot, then I will slow down, wet my cup, cool my neck, and reduce effort on the climbs. If my stomach turns, then I will back off the intensity, take small sips, and use simple fuel until it settles. If I start thinking about quitting, then I will not decide on the trail. I will get to the next checkpoint. Sit for a few minutes, eat, drink, and reassess. This is powerful because during a low point, decision making gets worse. So don't wait until the darkest moment to create the plan. Create the plan when you are calm. The best ultra runners are not positive all the time. They are not immune to suffering. They are not superhuman. They are problem solvers. They understand that the race will ask questions. Can you eat when you are tired? Can you slow down before you explode? Can you walk without giving up mentally? Can you accept discomfort without turning it into a disaster? Can you wait long enough for the low point to pass? That is ultra running. Not avoiding the dark miles, but learning how to move through them. So the takeaway is this. When the low point comes, don't negotiate with the whole race. Don't decide your future from the worst 5 minutes of your day. Check, fix, wait. Check what is happening. Fix the most obvious thing. Wait long enough for the body and mind to respond. A bad moment is not a bad race. A dark mile is not the finish line. And sometimes the runner who survives the low point is the runner who comes back strongest. That's today's trail running briefing. Understand your training, apply it on the trail, and run better.